Good morning. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and that means it is time for First Chapter Fun. In case this is your first time joining us, this is the place where until the beginning of May I am reading the first chapter of a new book every day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Ruddy. Erin. Whoops. Good morning, Jennifer. And I love this handle. Take the day off to read. Quite right. Good morning, Carla. So I have my iPad right here with Instagram, and I have my phone up here with Facebook Live. Good morning, Glennie, from sunny San Diego today. So it's quite weird because I'm recording on two places, so I do this a little bit. Thank you all for joining this morning. It's lovely to see so many of you. This is fantastic, and lots of new people too. That's brilliant. I really appreciate you taking the time out to listen to my readings of these excellent books. Now, before we start on Erin's book, I'm reading from Erin Ruddy's book today, which is called Tell Me My Name, and the first chapter. If this doesn't make you want to pre-order it, I mean, I don't know what you need. But in any case, before we start that, I want to tell you another little story. So, writing a book and getting a book published, traditionally, or self-published, but in this case traditionally, is a huge undertaking. First of all, you've got to have an idea that sticks, that you think you can do something with. Then you've got to write the damn manuscript and then rewrite it and then write it all over again and get over your self-doubt thinking that this is all rubbish and belongs in the bin. Once you get to the end of that, you give it to some people and they give you feedback and you rewrite it all over again. And this can take months and months and months, if not years. Once you're done and you think your manuscript is worthy of submission to an agent, you send it out there and you cross your fingers and you get rejection after rejection. Typically, not everyone, but I certainly did. And then let's say you get representation from an agent, and then you go back into edits with your agent, probably before the manuscript is sent out to publishers. And if you're lucky enough to get a book deal, well, then the editing process starts all over again. So it's a massive undertaking. It really is an undertaking where you have to believe, that you're going to get there and that you can do it and that you will get to hold your book in your hands. So why am I telling you all of this? Well, today is a debut, a book is being published, an author's debut called Mountain of Full Moons. And this debut is by a lady called Irene Kessler. And this is her book. Oh, a bit too much glare, but there we go. So why am I telling you about Irene before I get to Erin and her book? Well, Irene is 85. That's right. Her debut novel has come out today. And Irene Kessler is 85 years old. So for all those people out there who are thinking, no, I'm too old, I can't make a start on my project, I can't possibly write this book, I won't be able to do it, I'm too old. No, you're not, because Irene has just had her debut published, again, at the grand age of 85. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Irene before we move on to Erin's book. So born and bred in the Bronx. I've lost my glasses. Here I am, back again. Born and bred in the Bronx, New York, Irene is the mother of 3, grandmother of 4, and great-grandmother to the happiest baby boy. She sang opera in both the US and abroad, then worked as a psychologist in hospitals and private practice for 30 years before turning her hand to writing. And her debut, Mountain of Full Moons, is a coming-of-age novel set in biblical times. Through its feminist protagonist, Alicia, it explores how we overcome our fears, go out into the world and gain the courage to speak up and be who we choose to be. So I really thought that Irene deserves a massive shout out, because having your debut published, like I said at the beginning, is a massive deal. And having your debut published at age 85 is just incredible. So please join me in congratulating Irene. I think that's just absolutely wonderful. So to today's book. And I'm just going to have to flick through my other device. Running out of devices. I borrowed my my son's Amazon Fire thingy. Amazon Fire? Yeah, something. Whatever it is. Yeah, something. Whatever. So this is today's book. I hope you can see that. I know there's quite a bit of glare going on. Let me get the angle right. And there we go. Kind of. Tell Me My Name. This one is called, and it's by Erin Ruddy, who is watching on Instagram. Yay! So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Erin, and then I'll read you the first chapter. It is a killer of a first chapter, so listen to this. Erin Ruddy is a Canadian author, editor and journalist based in Toronto. A member of the International Thriller Writers Association and part of the debut author class of 2020, Erin is an avid reader and moviegoer. She has been a devoted fan of the thriller genre ever since childhood, when movies like Jaws, The Shining, Aliens and The Thing found their way into her young life thanks to her movie critic dad. That must have been a fun upbringing, right? I remember watching Jaws with my mum and hiding behind the pillows. Anyway, she and her family, so Erin and her family, enjoy dividing their time between the city and their cottage. And Tell Me My Name is her debut novel. And it was going to publish on June the 6th, but there are quite a few books and the pub dates of these books are being pushed back, and that is, I believe, the case with Erin's. So I'm just going to say it will be out this year, and Erin will confirm the date. Now, you can, as always, I will be saving this video to Facebook and posting it on Instagram. It'll be on my story, but you can leave comments and questions for Erin. Things like, hey, how did you come up with that idea? Or where do you write? Or what else do you do for fun? Or whatever it is that you'd like to know about Erin, please drop her a little comment, leave her a question, and she will be able to get back to you once this has finished. Or now, you know, she could answer you right now. So I'm going to show you the cover again of Tell Me My Name. Let me see if I can get rid of the glare. No, that's not helping, is it? No. So this is you have to trust me on that. It says Tell Me My Name by Erin Ruddy. There we go. And I am now going to enthrall you, I am sure, with these words that Erin has written, because it's amazing. So this is the blurb for Tell Me My Name. Ellie and Neil Patterson are eager to enjoy some quality time at their new cottage. It's the first time in 10 years that they've been alone. Or are they? When a friendly encounter leads to their violent kidnapping, they awaken to a living nightmare. Insisting he's Ellie's soulmate, the stranger gives her 3 chances to say his name. If she guesses wrong, it's Neil who will suffer the consequences. This propels Ellie into a desperate trip down memory lane to dredge up the dubious men of her past. Only after discovering the man's true identity and sacrificing her own safety to save Neil does Ellie finally learn the truth. That everything she thinks she knows about her husband and their decade-long love story is a lie. I've been married for 22 years. I think that would be a bit of a shock if I discovered everything was a lie. So I can't wait to read you this. There's the cover again. Tell Me My Name. I wish there wasn't so much glare, but it says Tell Me My Name. Trust me. And this is by Erin Ruddy. So here we go. Tell Me My Name by Erin Ruddy. Chapter 1. Ellie opened her eyes, tried to move, but couldn't. It was dark and her vision was cloudy. She was able to make out the square case of a window, curtains drawn, flaccid, a single wooden chair. She was lying on a wrought iron bed. She lifted her head, felt a wave of nausea roll through her, remembered the noxious cloth. She wiggled her wrists and ankles. Something was binding them, something sharp and unyielding. Plastic cable ties. She tried to scream, but the sound came out as a muffled moan. Where am I? Who did this? Light splashed the wall as someone entered an unseen door. Hello, Ellie, a deep voice said. Do you know how long I've been dreaming about this moment? She knew she couldn't respond, not with the gag filling her mouth, but she tried anyway, releasing a series of stifled sobs. There, the man said, stepping into view. The bed frame shifted as he eased himself next to her. You'll have your chance to speak soon enough. But first, I'd like to get properly reacquainted. It's been so long. He paused, gazing into her eyes. Man, what a surprise it was to see you driving by after all these years. You, of all people. I recognised you instantly, still as beautiful as ever. Then, that shower routine you put on the other night. What a show, Ellie. What a show. Ellie stiffened, remembered the feeling of being watched the night she tested the new outdoor shower. The man was crazy, or he'd made a mistake. Once he removed the gag, she could explain to him that he'd mixed her up with some other woman. Surely then he'd let her go. Otherwise Neil would return with the groceries and he'd find her missing from their cottage. He'd call the police and she'd be saved. Ellie, 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 the things you do to me, he continued. Neil's a lucky guy, but it seems his luck has finally run out. You see, I have a little game in mind for the three of us. Hey, don't look so worried. I promise it'll be fun. You just have to follow my rules. Rule number 1, no screaming. Rule number 2, no flailing, no fighting, no trying to escape. And finally, rule number 3, the most important one of all. He paused and stroked her hair. It's easy. All you have to do is tell me my name. The man got up and looked down at her. With a surprisingly delicate touch, he leaned over and removed her gag, brushing away the tear that had trickled down her cheek. Please, you have me confused with someone else, Ellie cried, anguished. I swear to God, this is all a mistake. Oh, spare me, Eloise. Do you really think I'd have gone to all this trouble if I wasn't sure it was you? Look, I'm not saying it'll be easy. It's been a while and the truth is, well, I didn't always look this good. I've made a few changes to impress you. But I want you to try to see past all the superficial details. See me for who I really am, the man I've always been. Now, look at me, Ellie. Look at me really closely and think. Ellie was sure she didn't know the kind of sicko who'd abduct a woman from her own kitchen, surgery or not. The room was spinning so wildly, she thought she was going to be sick. She closed her eyes and tried to calm down, tried to think of a plan to get free. Her eyes snapped open as a sound caught her ear, the sound of a car passing outside. She could hear it slowing, then pulling into a driveway a little farther down the road. Their driveway. Hear that sound? The man said. That's the sound of our game beginning. Time to put that pretty little head to work. Just say my name, Ellie. Say it, or your husband loses a toe. See you soon. The door clicked shut behind him. That was chapter 1. Short, I'd say short and sweet, but it's not sweet. It's bloody scary. Short and bloody scary. Tell Me My Name by Erin Ruddy. Jennifer just said keep reading. I know, right? So this will be published by Dundurn Press and it's available for pre-order now, and I'm gonna, because I need to know what happens in that. That's absolutely fantastic. So again, Erin is watching, she's here. So I hope that you will leave her a question and a comment because this just sounds absolutely wild and brilliant. So let me tell you about tomorrow's book. Tomorrow I will be reading From a Soul Redemption by Mary Widdicks. That's up tomorrow. I hope you can see that properly. There we go. So, whew, that was pretty emotional, wasn't it? That was scary, some scary stuff. I hope you enjoyed the episode of First Chapter Fun. I hope you will join me again tomorrow and right up until the beginning of May, so I can continue to do this for you and for all of my author friends. It's just such a fabulous initiative, and I'm so grateful that all of these authors allowed me to read and publishers allowed me to read from these books. So, the only thing that's left to say, as always, is please stay safe, stay kind, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.